Hey everyone, how's it going? Captain Bookbeard here. This is my first official reading for my YouTube channel. So hopefully this goes well. Today's book is going to be Edward the Emu, and that is by Sheena Knowles and illustrated by Rod Clement. Cool, alright, let's begin. Ooh. It's a big book. Edward the Emu was sick of the zoo. There was nowhere to go, there was nothing to do. And compared to the seals that lived right next door, well, being an emu was frankly a bore. And there's Edward. It's his big body. He stretches right across the page because he's such a big bird. He doesn't look very entertained. He looks pretty bored, doesn't he? See what happens next. So that night, when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from his pen and he laughed as he said, "The seals are best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a seal as well." There he is, escaping his pen. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the seals were swimming, and Edward was too. He dived in the water and basked in the sun, and he balanced a ball on his beak just for fun. And there's Edward. It's looking pretty wet, and there's a seal looking at him, wondering what's happening. Why is there an emu in my enclosure? Well, Edward was really enjoying the day, till he overheard someone behind the fence say, "The seals are always amusing, it's true, but the lion's the best thing to see at the zoo." And there's Edward catching a fish, just like a seal. And there's the man that thinks the lions are the best animal at the zoo. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward jumped from the pool and he smiled as he said, "The lion's the best, anybody can tell, so tomorrow I'll just be a lion as well." Look, there's the seal. He's on a diving board. They get a diving board. That's cool. And there's Edward's feet as he's jumping out of the pool. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the lions were roaring and Edward was too. He snarled at the ladies and growled at the men. Life was certainly grand for a lion in his den. There's the lion. Actually, it looks like a lioness because it doesn't have a mane, having a big growl. Look at those big teeth. And then there's scary lion Edward. He's doing a good job. Well, Edward was having a wonderful day till a man in the crowd had gumption to say, "The lion's a beast I shall always detest. The snakes are the things I like to see best." So there's Edward and his lioness friend sitting in the tree just relaxing. So somebody else thinks snakes are best. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward crept from the cage and he grinned as he said, "If the snakes are the best things, and that's what they say, then tomorrow I'll just be a snake for the day." Oh, and there's his little lioness friend. He's standing on her head to get over the rails. It's a bit cheeky. The next morning at 9, when they opened the zoo, the snakes were all hissing, and Edward was too. He slipped around rocks. It was magic to see. Then he curled himself up casually around a tree. There's Edward, getting all tangled up with the snakes in the enclosure. All very friendly animals, aren't they? Well, Edward was just warming up for the day when he overheard one of the visitors say, "The snakes are impressive, I know that it's true, but emus by far are the best thing at the zoo." Emus are the best. Well, there's Edward and a snake. If emus are best, I think Edward knows what to do next. Let's find out. "The emu!" gasped Edward. "My goodness, that's me! I'm the thing that gentlemen most like to see. Not the seals, the lions, the snakes and the rest. It's Edward the Emu he likes to see best." Look at that, he's all excited about being that man's favourite, so he's telling his snake friend. Looks like Edward might have been in a little bit of trouble there. So that night when the zookeeper went home to bed, Edward slipped from the cage and he laughed as he said, "If the emu's the best, then that's easy then. Tomorrow I'm Edward the Emu again." There's all his snake friends saying goodbye as he leaves their enclosure. Edward ran to the place where he used to reside, but oh, what a shock when he clambered inside. He found himself suddenly come face to face with the emu they'd bought to take Edward's place. There's Edward, and there's the new emu. The emus considered each other a while. Then the new emu said with a shy little smile, "Hello, I'm Edwina. It's nice meeting you. You're the best I've seen since I came to the zoo." And there's Edward and Edwina happy together at the zoo. Excellent. And that's the end of the book, guys. Hope you had fun. Join me again for my next video and we'll see what book comes. I may have a surprise guest reader coming on Friday, so we'll see if we can organise that. Have a good one, guys. Have fun and stay safe.